Well, hello everyone! Welcome yet again to Monday Mentions Ramble with me, Doc Eon. This Monday is the 5th of February 2018, and I'm coming to you with a grand total of 6 completed minis this week. Now, it's not the ones I've been working on the longest. Things tend to jump around on my schedule a bit. I'll paint a mini for a while, then I'll sort of get bored of it or lose inspiration, and I'll move on to something else, and something else gets finished first. But anyway, we have here, these are all Reaper minis. Most of them are bones, the exception being this samurai here, which I painted up for one of the players in my current campaign. It's supposed to be his player character. It's not an exact representation because he's playing a sort of fantasy race which only exists in this particular game, which is a sort of semi-wolf person. He's got like just a few traits like ears and a tail, but otherwise looks human. And there's no miniatures to represent that. But otherwise, I found a figure that sort of has the same gear he would have, and I painted up his favorite colors. So, yeah, hopefully he'll be pleased with that. Here is a wolf, and the name of the model is Winter Wolf, which is a sort of ice wolf in D&D. So, yeah, I painted it mostly white. Not a lot to say, really. Here we have some giant ticks. These are bigger than the giant ticks I painted last time, and I chose a different color. I chose to make their bodies green instead of red, partly for variety, partly because I've painted one of these models before. I got it with the Bones 2 Kickstarter, and I wanted to slightly match that. It's not exact. Here's the old one. As you can see, the old one is a bit duller. I decided to give these more of a sheen, slightly iridescent, because I thought that would look interesting. So now, by comparison, the old one looks really, really bad. But, you know, we develop as painters. Here we have actually another player character. This is a in the Reaper's catalog. This is called a werebear. In the game we're playing, the character is not a werebear. It's simply an anthropomorphic bear. He's a bear man. And as if you watch other painting channels, you'll notice that I was inspired by the way Dr. Faustus painted this model, with this sort of pattern on the kilt, or whatchamacallit. I didn't do exactly the way he did, and I did some other things different. I did metallic axe instead of non-metallic metal. But again, I think the player of this character will be pleased. And finally, we have another were creature. This is called a were crocodile, and I thought he would go with a lizardman because there are, in D&D lore, certain lizard folk are actually were-crocs as well. Can turn into these things. And I did a lot of back and forth, more than I usually do with bones, on the scales of this guy to get a good look. Because I thought, this is an impressive model, and he deserves a little bit more attention. So, that is the completed pile for this week. Let's move on. So the seedills are growing slower than the bones because, well, they're metal minis, not bones. They need a bit more care devoted to them. Also, they're kind of a unit. They need to be uniform, so I have to do the same thing on a lot of models. I don't recall exactly how much was done on these by last week, but I think they were not this far along. I think I'm pretty much done with the basic skin tones. Now I need to work on details, the hair, the scales, and the like. And if we compare to the old model, you can see that I've gone for a paler blue-green this time. This one is kind of a rich blue-green, very green. This is more towards the blue side of the spectrum. But I'm thinking I want more variety in, well, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's places on these models that are smooth and places that are scaled, and I think I want to paint the scales differently, and then I want to paint the fins differently. I don't want to do them just this sort of off-white color that I did on this one, but come up with something different. So this project is taking a little while. However, I've already started a couple of more bones. These two nulls that are like halfway done maybe already. I'm sort of painting them to try to match the old ones. I didn't get quite the same shade of gray. The one's a little bit paler, but I think that works better in any case. To contrast, I'm going to make some darker clothing here. And over here we have a lot more bones prepped. You know, various skeletons, goblins, and of course the Ulcer's miniatures back there. Yeah, so quite a lot going on. Well, with so much in the works, I don't really need to add much more to the cube, but I do really need to get these sea elves done. They're kind of important. I think might be important to my upcoming campaign. So they're gonna get prepped and painted ASAP. They might actually go to the front of the line. They're not. I'm not going to paint these in order, perhaps. Also, just for the heck of it, this guy. I forget where he's from. I think he's from some order I got recently. It's just a like adventurer or henchman or something. Very classic guy with a big backpack and a torch, a dungeon explorer. Just for fun. I'll put him in production as well. And that'll be it for new projects this week. And this week we have a package containing some stuff. Among them, some stuff from Reaper again, but strangely enough, this is not a package from Reaper Miniatures. This is actually from a company called Noble Knight Games, which mostly sells used games, but they also have miniatures, and they often have copies of stuff that other stores don't. And in this case, I got some Reaper Bones from them. They had a package deal on 4 golems that were actually cheaper than buying them from Reaper themselves or from any other store. I also got some of the Gale Force 9 Collector Series that were out of print elsewhere. We have Kessel's Band, which is some frosty villains. Oh, and here's another Reaper miniature that is unavailable from Reaper themselves or anywhere else. The Triceratops. This is a big, solid metal dinosaur to add to my collection of dinos. And finally, I got hold of some metal gups for Malifaux. I haven't painted any Malifaux in a while, but when these appeared on their site, I had to get them because they will complete my Siluriid collection. I already have the Spawn Mother and some Siluriids in metal, and the gups were not available for a long time. They're our printed metal, and they didn't make new plastic ones until recently, and you can only get the plastic ones as part of a kit with the new plastic Spawn Mother, which I don't really want because I don't like the new sculpt, and I already have the metal one. So I'm very pleased that I was able to get these. Like I said, I don't currently play much Malifaux, but you know, if I ever get back into it, these will round out my collection nicely. So, a grand total of, I believe, 5, 6, 9, 13 minis. The mathematically inclined might note that I'm not adding 13 minis to my total purchase this week. That is because I also got rid of some minis. I might have mentioned that some of those extra bones I got with my December orders from Reaper, I wanted to give away, and I've managed to give some of them away. I gave 6 minis and some paints away to a friend of mine who's also a painter. Right, because they were, you know, doubles. I didn't really need to paint them up. And I thought, I shouldn't count those. Should I count those as painted? No, they're not really painted by me. So I'll just subtract them from my purchased numbers instead. That seems like a logical thing to do. So, all in all, been a good week. Some progress, some new stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, give it a like, subscribe, share, comments, all those things you do. And I will see you in a week. Till then, I'm Dakian, and signing off.